All right, what's going on, guys? It's really late. I just want to just brush through this Canelo DAZN deal that's just been made. Most of us already know. Uh, Canelo Alvarez has signed with the DAZN streaming app. Okay, where he's got signed for about 11 fights within 5 years. Okay, his first fight being this December with Rocky Fielding. Okay, for like $375 million, something crazy, right? So he's gonna fight this year, and then for the next 5 years, he has like 2 fights per year or something. I don't know. I know it's like after this fight, it'll be 10 additional fights, okay, for like 375 million, okay. Um, he reached this deal with Golden Boy and Eddie Hearn, and Golden Boy is gonna have like 10 fights broadcasted on the DAZN app. So Golden Boy, the whole Golden Boy is going over to the zone. Okay, we know that HBO is done. They're done with boxing. Their fight card next weekend between Derevyanchenko and Jacobs will be their final card. And after that, everyone's just pretty much scattered. We already know that Top Rank is with ESPN now, with the ESPN Plus app, which is another streaming service that we have to pay for. But I believe they are $5. The Zone is $10. But with the Zone, you also get MMA, you get Bellator, you get a whole bunch of other stuff too. All right. So I just wanted to speak on it. I don't want to go into the whole details and stuff. I just want to give you my opinion and how I felt about this move. Okay. And I wanted to compare to the PBC and some of the things that has happened over the last few years that led to this point. Things have been moving extremely fast because I just recently did a video on the zone and speaking on the Anthony Joshua fight with Povetkin. Okay, Povetkin recently fought Joshua on the zone thing, and that's when I first downloaded the app and paid for the subscription. And then I recently saw the cards after that. There was an MMA card after that, and then we recently had the Jesse Vargas card too against Tomas Delorme last weekend. I believe that was last weekend. So I've been watching. I've been actually using it, the app. I've been using it actually. I actually probably been using it more than I've been using the ESPN Plus app that I had since sometime last year. I think that came out. All right, when Top Rank started showing Lomachenko and Terrence Crawford's fights on there. All right. Anyway, I have so much that I want to say, and I'm trying to place everything in order here. This is how I feel about the zone. All right. Let's go back a little bit and let's start out with PBC. The PBC came out. I was very excited for it, but I wasn't sure how it was going to work. The fundamentals of it all, it didn't make sense to me, because how are you showing these fights that we see on premium channels and pay-per-view? How are we going to see these fights and these guys get paid? Especially the market for boxing here in America is not that big, okay? But we watched it, and we started seeing some good fights on the PBC for free, okay? And as time went on, I remember there were rumors about Mayweather maybe possibly fighting. The thing about the PBC is that we were already seeing those kind of fights, but we just weren't seeing them for free, right? So the thing about the first issue I had with the PBC, and just bear with me, all right? Just hear me out, because some of you guys jump and leave comments before you even listen to my point. Just hear me out real quick, right? The issue I had with the PBC, and the reason why I wasn't sure if it was going to last or not, I wanted it to last, and it had nothing to do with agendas or anything like that. I didn't have any sides where I picked. I just wanted to see boxing. The thing with the PBC is they didn't pull that one fighter that made me sure it was going to work. It was a great idea, and it was good for me. But I know on a business side, there were rumors about them going bankrupt and all this stuff. And I was like, man, you know, I hope this is not true. But they never had pulled a specific fighter or fighters that made me know like this was here to stay. That never happened. And another thing that happened or was happening is that when it came to the PBC, outside of a few fights, like the first earlier fights, like the Thurman fights that they had a couple Thurman fights, some welterweight fights like Danny Garcia and Guerrero, Thurman, and I forgot who was on there. Maybe Thurman and Guerrero as well, I think, fought on the PBC. Outside of a few big fights, Adrian Broner and Sean Porter, most of the majority of the bigger fights, when we were talking like Al Heyman managed fighters, the majority of the bigger fights were on Showtime still, on a premium channel. And that made me question how serious are they going to take this thing as far as having the bigger fights on network television, you know? And it never happened. And in fact, the PBC kind of like started to fizzle out over the last year or so, year or two maybe. I actually looked up, I just randomly like, you know, before I made the video, I was like, you know what, let me just search. Because I don't want to speak on something that's not true. So let me just go on PBC's website. Because I used to check it and see what the schedule was like. Just to see, you know, they would have fights on certain channels where they weren't like major cards, but I would still watch it. Just for I could have something to watch and see who's fighting. And I looked on there and I looked at the schedule and they don't have nothing scheduled outside of the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight. There's no PBC cards scheduled on their website. The website is updated. It's just nothing going on outside of that fight. And that fight is going to be pay-per-view Showtime, I believe. So, going back to what I was saying earlier, it's starting to make sense. I don't think the market is there for boxing in America. I think people are just not watching it like that. I mean, if you watch the cards on PBC, they were in pretty small arenas. Seats weren't always filled. It just doesn't seem like it's working. Okay. Then there was another thing that happened. Daniel Jacobs. I don't know if anyone has spoken on this, but this is what I was feeling when Danny Jacobs, when I heard he first signed with Eddie Hearn, which wasn't that long ago. But it was so random to me because people that are signed with Al Heyman, they weren't making that kind of move. And I remember when it first happened, you know, the people with the agendas on YouTube, they kind of were bothered by it because it was Eddie Hearn and it was Daniel Jacobs that made that move over there. But I'm not going to lie. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit because Daniel Jacobs was definitely going against the grain when he made that move. But I didn't understand why. And Daniel Jacobs is a very intelligent guy. I didn't understand then, like, why is he signing with Eddie Hearn? And it's not like DAZN was out at this time. He went to HBO. He went to Matchroom. And he's fighting on HBO when he's already been fighting with Showtime. You know? That just seemed so strange to me. You know, I know he fought Triple G because Triple G, you know, Triple G was the star. So he had to go over there to get his shot. But outside of that, like those fights he had with Arias and I forgot the other guy he fought. Makula. I don't want to butcher his name. But you guys know who Daniel Jacobs fought. Had a couple fights. And now he's fighting Derevyanchenko on HBO. So I thought, I'm like, why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? Like, why is he the only one that's doing this? Something's going on. And Eddie Hearn does a lot of talk. And he's been contacting a lot of the Al Heyman fighters, managed fighters. And he's been, if not pulling them away, but he's been trying to pull them into the you know, to Matchroom or now the zone. So with all that being said, we have DAZN now. And DAZN comes out, and, you know, I know Joshua is going to be there. They pick up Demetrius Andre, which is cool. I mean, nothing, that's not major. I'm just glad that Andre finally got an opportunity, you know. Never liked the promoters he was with. He was never making any moves. He was just always absent. So I'm like, all right, I'm glad Eddie picked him up. Now he gets some opportunities that he didn't get before. Good. And now, you know, he has Joshua already. He already had Joshua, you know. He picks up Gerald Miller, but he already had Joshua. So Joshua going over there was expected, but after watching the fight with Povetkin and actually seeing that this, I just paid $9.99 to watch this card. This is Anthony Joshua. This is the top 2, top 3, you know, biggest earning boxers in boxing. I just watched them for free. And not only that, but I watched like 3 other fight cards, contact sport cards, since I seen that fight. But it's expected, but it's still a little weird. It feels weird. It feels like that was what I was supposed to get when PBC came out. That is what I was supposed to get. I never got that level of a fight. You got a heavyweight fighter. You got Povetkin, who's been the top 3 heavyweight for years now. All right? And then you got Anthony Joshua, the top guy right now. For free. Well, not for free, but for a $9.99 subscription a month. To me, it's as free as you could get. The closest to free you're getting. I was very satisfied. I was a little shaky with it first because streaming at this point didn't feel like an upgrade to me. It felt like an alternative. You know what I'm saying? So I stressed all of this. And then when HBO News came out, then I was like, okay, now we're pretty much stuck with streaming unless we get Showtime. I don't know if I like this. This doesn't feel like tradition. But I understand that times we evolve. So I get it, all right? But I'm like, it still doesn't seem like streaming should be the main way to watch boxing. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. It doesn't feel right to me. And now, DAZN signs Canelo Alvarez. And in the very last video I did speaking on this, or, well, not in the last video, but in the HBO video I did, one thing I do remember saying in that video was like, I doubt that Canelo would sign with DAZN. It just seemed like it was a downgrade for him. It just seemed like something he wouldn't do. I even went as far as saying that he would probably go with ESPN, if anything, because Oscar and them already has a relationship with them. I was wrong. I was so wrong. And these guys are putting up big money. We're talking almost $400 million. Man, I was wrong. And it's like, now I'm just sitting here like, yo, this DAZN thing is for real. This is no joke. These guys are making real power moves in a short period of time. They already got Anthony Joshua. And now they have Canelo. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And now they have Bellator. They're having fights on Bellator as well. Are you kidding me? I'm watching all of these guys fight. Pay-per-view. We've heard pay-per-view is dead before. Or they were trying to end pay-per-view. We heard it before. But now, not only is Anthony Joshua not fighting pay-per-view, but so is Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, the #1 guy? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. I believe it now. Like, now this is real to me. And it all got proven to me so fast. It all happened so fast. So now I'm like, I'm thinking back. Now I'm thinking about everything. Now I'm just sitting here like, yo, PBC, What happened with PPC? What's going on with PPC? Okay. All right. Daniel Jacobs. Now it's starting to make sense to me. Why did he go to HBO? Why did he go to Eddie Hearn? Why did he go there? You know, why is Eddie Hearn pulling all these people, making all these moves? Then he gets DAZN. Then he gets Canelo and Golden Boy. He has Anthony Joshua already. Anthony Joshua's still undefeated. Now he's fighting on his own. All of this stuff is like, wow. These guys are really taking over. And then Terrence Crawford just fought last weekend, and most people didn't even know he was fighting. ESPN is doing the same thing, but they're not moving like DAZN is moving. They're not. It's cool. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to say subscribe because I support Terrence Crawford. I support Vasyl Lomachenko. I don't really care for Top Rank, but I support those two fighters. 100. But they're not rocking with what these guys over here are doing. They making real big moves over here. I support it. It's more boxing for me. It's cheaper. And it has other stuff on the app. Canelo, as far as Canelo, I just want to get the fights that I want to see. I know when it comes to him, I'm not going to always get that. But who does at this point? Rocky Felding, I'm not buying the size difference. He towers over Canelo. Yeah, so did Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Yeah. I seen Rocky fight. He's cool. But Canelo's good at outboxing. All right. I'm not really buying all too much into that. I just hope at some point we get the fights that we want to see. Like the Jamal Charles fights and, you know, whoever else is winning, you know, between, I would like to see the win of Daniel Jacobs. And Daniel Jacobs is already over there. Between him and Deverenchenko. Would like to see the winner fight Canelo. Jamal fight Canelo. Whoever else is up there at 160. You know, I don't know what's up with Billy Joe now. I don't know what's happening. You have Andrade up there. We already know who's at middleweight. All right? I would like to see all these fights. But I know Canelo moves on Canelo's time. Canelo's not going to just give us all the fights we want to see. Back to back to back. That's not the way the Canelo moves. Canelo's going to do about 2 or 3 fights that he wants to do. And then he'll give us a fight that we really want to see. That's how he moves. Out of that 10, 11 fight deal, probably get like 3 fights, if 2 or 3 fights that we really want to see. That's the way he moves. You know? They're all respectable fights, though. They're respectable. They're just fights where you don't see him losing. You know? When he fought the Lauras, when he fought the Triple Gs of the world, those are fights that we were like, all right, I don't think Canelo's going to win this one. But he still happened to be undefeated outside of Floyd Mayweather. And, you know, he's still doing his thing. That's my only request. You know. But like I said, I already know how Canelo moves. Great deal. Well played by Eddie Hearn. Well played. Well played. I just hope the fundamentals are right as far as business and financials. And I hope we can really get this fight, all these fights, on DAZN without having nothing crazy that we have to pay for. Let's keep them on DAZN. That's all I ask. All right? So, congrats to them. And it's good to get more boxing at a discount. I'm all with it. I wish PBC, I wish we got big fights, big heavyweight title fights between like 2 big names. I wish we had got that for free on network television. I think that's what boxing really needed. But giving us a good fight here and there and just going long periods without really giving us great fights, it just didn't work out. All right? So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Next video, one of my subscribers asked me to do a video on Usyk and Bellew. I will put that out. If I don't put that out now, I'll try to get that out sometime this week. All right. I really want to do that video. One of the subscribers just asked in my last video. I'm definitely, if you're watching, I got you. I'm gonna put that video out. That's the easy one for me to do. All right.